Okay guys, so it's the middle of the night. It's around 2:15. My living room. I'm gonna try to whisper so I don't wake everyone up. I just woke up from a dream. And I have to share it before I forget it. Turn that off. So, put on the picture. So, in the dream, I'm with my family, and we're going to town in a car, and we start seeing these planes overhead. There's just all these planes, but then the sky turns red, and it's like the planes are already on fire. And they're like warplanes, like jets, fighter jets, and cargo planes from the military. And there's other planes from another military, I don't know whose it was. It almost looked like UFOs in a way. I can't say for certain. But some were on fire, and they were coming down, like crashing, and we were like, oh my god, we gotta get somewhere before it falls on us. And we were driving through a neighborhood, and there's all these people in the neighborhood out looking, and it's really loud too, like you can hear planes crashing everywhere, and people just screaming and going crazy. And then we get out of the car, and we're like, we gotta find somewhere that has like a bomb shelter, because a lot of the houses around here were in the neighboring towns have bomb shelters because there's an arsenal near us. So it's not uncommon to find a house that has a bomb shelter. So we go to a couple houses and we can't find it, and then finally we find one that has these the occupants of the house are like a elderly couple, and I'm like telling everybody, like, because there's people that followed us in the house too, okay? So it's my family, and then the two occupants, and I feel like the two occupants had family members around. So there's probably like 30 people in the house now. And I'm like giving people instructions. I'm like, get all the food you can find. Go next door if we have time. Get the food out of that house. We gotta bring it all down into the shelter. We need to fill pitchers and bowls and just any type of container with water while the pipes are still good. Because when the crafts that are in the air that are crashing come down, they're gonna damage the water pipes. So I'm like, get everything. And there's like so many people that are just like freaking out that they can't even move. And, you know, I think even at times I was so freaked out I couldn't move. But I'm like, fight through that fear and get it done, or else we're gonna die. Like, we have to have this stuff. We don't know how long we're gonna be down there. So, eventually people got it together and we had enough time. And I kept waiting for, like, the fire from the crafts or destruction of the house we were in. But it never actually came to the point where we had to go into the bomb shelter. That I can remember, like, it was hot. You could feel heat. But in that house, the house was still standing, okay? After it was said and done. So that's one part of the dream. Part 2 is like after everything in the air fell, after that fight, after that battle, everybody, I think we were like out scavenging, you could say, for supplies. And then we realized that people had come into town and they were handing out papers with instructions. And it was, I hate to say this, it was like, I'm assuming Muslim people, because of what they were wearing and what they were telling us we had to do now. So, we were given instructions that the women had to cut their left middle finger, one cut on your left finger for each girl you have giving birth to, and then for the boys, it was on our right finger. We didn't have to cut it though. It was just like, maybe we had to take a Sharpie and draw a dot. And I remember in the dream, a lady cutting my finger with it was like a little broken antenna piece, like one of those metal antennas on a radio. That's what she used because she didn't have a knife. That's what she had to use. And I can remember the hesitation because she was a fellow sister. She wasn't one of the Muslim people. And I remember when she was doing it in my dream, first I looked at her and she was like, I can't do it. Don't look at me. So I looked away. I was like, it's okay, go for it. I'll be okay. It's just a cut. And, she was able to cut it a little, but not too bad. But then, after that, we were told to go to our our new head of family, I think is the way they put it, and check in. So I went outside the house, and I think like it was like in the carport or something. There was a little Muslim woman with the head covering, and then a man with her. And she's like, "Oh, okay, I know you." And she handed me my new ID. And it was like a printout of my driver's license. This was so detailed. It was a printout of my driver's license. And there was other stuff on there, but it was in a different language. I couldn't read it. It was like cardstock. It was like a green cardstock. And she handed it to me, told me to keep it. And then she had like a little metal box with her. And she was like, "Do you need anything?" And it had like candies or what else was in it? Like maybe Tylenol, stuff like that. And I remember seeing a few packs of cigarettes, but they weren't like brand new packs. They were open. And I remember getting things that my children needed, like something comforting for my children from her. And then I said, "Hey, would you mind giving me a pack of those Marlboros?" And she snuck them to me. Like I felt favor with her. She was very familiar to me and giving me favor in a way. So I went back in the house and then like this is part 3. This is where it gets really weird. And right before I woke up. But I remember in my dream having a realization that it was a dream. Like, look at my dirty couch. Okay, so I realized in my dream that it was not really happening. And then I realized the people, like the 30 people in the house living with me, like we had already done this before. And it's crazy because I have had this dream before. This isn't the first time I've dreamt it. But this is the first time that I'm talking about it in real life. So anyway, in the dream, when I realized that, I went to someone that, or no, I said to the group, I said, "Does anyone here in this moment have like a deja vu feeling?" And one person out of the group was like, oh, yeah, I have. But not everybody was there. It was just like the women, okay? I don't know where the men were. And I was like, alright, well, don't say anything, but get up and follow me. Because I didn't want to talk in front of everybody. And, so, I went down to the bunker, okay? And, one of the relatives of the elderly people that the house belongs to, I was like, is there a space in here that nobody can hear what I'm going to talk to this lady about? And she's like, oh yeah, but you can go out this little door, but don't stay out there long. I'm like, okay. So me and this girl walk outside that little door. It's like a whole different realm. It was the realm of the dead. And you could see all kinds of people that have already died just doing shit. It was crazy. And but they didn't see us or hear us. This is just so weird. This is such a weird dream. So I told that girl, I'm like, look, we're dreaming. And she's like, yeah, I kind of felt like that too. I'm like, but we're dreaming this because we have to do something to fix it. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, we've already dreamt this. God's already given us the knowledge of what we need to do. It's like she knew, but she wasn't getting it, okay? This is so weird. I can't believe I'm even talking this. But God told me to tell y'all. So, I was like, okay. And then the door opened up, and somebody pulled me in. She's like, come on, you can't be out there more than 5 minutes. And I was like, hold on, she's still out there. Let me get her. And I went to grab her. She's like, hold on, I just need a minute alone. I'm like, okay, you have like 10 seconds. Get in here. And I went in and counted 10, and she still wasn't coming through the door. So I opened the door. I'm like, come on. And I grabbed her. And right as I grabbed her, a freaking dead person from that dead realm grabbed her and ate her. It was freaky. So scary. Okay, so that freaked me out. I'm like, oh my God. How's that even possible? So I get back in, and the men people are back. The men folk are back. And I find, it wasn't George, it was another man. And I'm telling him, I'm like, look, we have to play. This is like a game, and we have to play it a certain way. Or else the outcome is going to continue. Like, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. Like, that's a good way to put it. Like, there's a way to defeat these people. And we know it. We just all have to work together in the right way to figure it out. And I've been having these dreams a lot lately. It's so weird. So, and then, yeah. And then in real life, my dog started barking and woke me up. And I came in here and recorded this. Weird dream. It was just so real. It was so real and scary. Alright, thank you for listening.